And this is what I think is important for your listeners to know. You don't have to know how to do all those things yourself. There's a great book by Benjamin King and Dan Sullivan called Who Not How. And as an entrepreneur, we all face these challenges of like, how do I do this? How do I do that? How do I handle the imaging? How do I handle the POs? How do I handle this or that or scheduling or whatever? That a lot of times the question is, who do I have that would be better at these things than I am?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to passive investing or syndication. So a syndication is where an operator raises money from a pool of people and then takes that money combined with their time and experience to take on projects larger than what any individual could do on their own. For example, I had a 16-year career in cardiology, implanting pacemakers and defibrillators. For 14 of those years, my wife and I were investing in real estate. In 2020, I realized I'd done it wrong with short-term rentals, and I said, wait a minute. Let's identify the older, most successful real estate investors that I can find that are living the life that I want to live, and let's poll those people. And when I identified a group of people, when I talked to them, it ultimately came down to three things. It was hard money lending and note lending,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have the 7 figures it took to get started to lend money out. Or it was mobile home parks.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, I owned a property management company and a bunch of Airbnbs, and I was totally burned out on tenants. And I didn't want to do that. And it was self-storage. And I was like, wait a minute, self-storage. You're telling me there's no kitchens, there's no bathrooms, there's no tenants living in the property, and you're renting someone a box of air?
Sign me up.
Please. Yeah, where do I sign, right? Well, then we take it a step farther. Because what I had been doing with my small multifamilies was I was buying bad quadplexes with nasty tenants in place. Lovely people, but just down on their luck, a lot of drugs involved, no rent increases in years. But in a small island community in a beach town where I live. And over time, I was getting those people stabilized and helping them find other places, renovating the properties and turning them into Airbnbs, right? It's called adaptive reuse, or I'm buying it as one thing. I'm changing the asset class to something else. It 3X's the gross potential rental income, and it changes the formula by which the asset is valued. It massively pushes up the value. So when I heard what my partners were doing through the local real estate networking groups, I jumped in. We bought an old Kmart building. There used to be 2,000 of them, by the way. They're all gone. We bought an old Kmart building in 2021 for pennies on the dollar compared to what we could build a building that size for. And we converted it to a climate-controlled self-storage facility. And it worked very well. You think about that community used to drive to this building to buy their home goods, even though Amazon and Walmart put them out of business. Still is a great place for those same people to drive back to the same building and store their stuff inside of it. So that went really well. We bought another Kmart. We did another one. We did another one. We did another one. We did, I think, 6 or 8 deals, and 8 deals, I believe. And then I left my career in medical sales in November of 2022 to go full-time into syndication, raising capital, buying old vacant big box retail buildings, converting them into storage. We just recently hit $150 million in assets under management.
Nice.
Last month. Thank you. Last month we sold that first Kmart. We bought it. Actually, the one we sold last month was the second Kmart that we bought. We bought it for $2.5 million and we sold it 37 months later for $9.53. So that's the difference of just converting it to a different asset class.
Yep.
It makes a huge shift.
I love self-storage. I've invested in some self-storage syndicators before. And the story behind it always made so much sense to me. I mean, you could just walk up a neighborhood and look at all the garages that are just full of crap and be like, oh, okay, people, I learned one thing. People don't throw anything away. And when you make the case for that, it's like they have to store it somewhere if they're not going to throw it away.